What's going on, everybody? Just thought I would show you guys a quick update video. So if you guys have watched my previous videos, you can see that I did a houseplant tour just probably a little over a month ago. And so a lot has changed in the last month. I've changed up my taste in plants, and therefore it's kind of reflected on the shelf here. I'm still keeping houseplants, of course. I'm also keeping succulents and cacti, but I really got into the Hoya game like pretty intensely. I wasn't super fond of them at first, but as you guys know, some plants grow on you over time. This species of plant has been one of those, and I've been really excited to kind of take on the learning curve of what these guys are like. I would compare these more to my cacti and succulent collection. They don't require a lot of watering in general, but they do require a lot of light. So I'm having to supplement it with, which you guys, I don't know if this top light works here, but there we go. So this additional light kind of helps because I do have a window over here that some light comes in through, and I have one to the left, but that specific window is closed often. So in an effort to make sure that these plants get a lot of light, I am turning on the supplemental lights and just kind of doing its thing. From the top, I've got this Crinkle 8 Hoya, which is, I mean, it's probably about 4 feet long, the longest vine is, so it kind of trails down. It's got 2 peduncles on here. I've got one here, and then there's a bigger one right over there. So this one should be blooming pretty soon. I'm hoping that if I keep up this light and, you know, probably not fertilize now because it's almost winter time, but as long as I keep up the lighting and the watering schedule, I'm hoping to see that bloom within the next month or two. I have a Hoya Curtisii, which is a really nice one too. I really like this plant because of like the splashing that you see on it, and these leaves are a much different shape in comparison to other Hoyas, so I really like this one. My Pubicalic Splash, which has been one of the easiest plants. It's not fussy at all. I actually check the leaves every few weeks and see if they're firm to the touch. If they're not, I usually wait about a week after that and then water. Like, I actually recently watered this one, so its leaves are like super perky and full. I have an Imperialis, which is one of the largest Hoya blooms that you can get. Some of the leaves are a little damaged, but honestly, it grows out. I'll probably just trim it back and get a couple plants out of this. But it's got a huge size flower. I've seen pictures of them. It's like the size of your fist. It's insane. And then I've got a Hoya Australis. No peduncles yet, but it is like reaching the ceiling, so I really should put this on a trellis or something for it to climb on, just so that I don't have the leaves that look like runners. I like the big paddle ones, so I'm probably going to do something for it to grow on to kind of encourage that growth pattern. And then over here I've got my, I believe these are Crimson Queens or Rubra Hoyas. I've got 5 of them. Some of these obviously are for me. Other ones are stuff that I use for my Etsy shop or things that I use in plant trades. But the majority of these are pretty much gonna stay where they're at. Like I actually have 6 of these. Yeah, because I've got one down here. So I'll probably for sure gonna end up keeping 2 or 3 of the pots. The other 2 or 3 pots of this, I am most likely going to trade or sell. That's kind of why I have so many of those guys. I've got my Hoya Carrii, which has been doing so well. I just water like once a month. I do need to clean up the leaves because they're pretty dusty, so I should probably get this plant sprayed off. But this one's doing really well. This was my first Crimson Queen or Crimson Princess, one of the two. This one's doing really well. I've taken like 2 or 3 cuttings from it, but it's still a really full plant. I've got a Hoya Wayetii. That's another one that I picked up at a nursery near to me. This one has been doing really well. I've also got the Burtonii or DS70 Hoya. You guys can actually find this at Lowe's or Home Depot from time to time. Costa Farms is actually the company that grows these plants, and honestly, it's a really cool one. It grew a lot. It probably was like up to here just a couple of months ago, and it's probably put out 8 to 12 leaves since. So this one is doing super good. I'm hoping that all of these in general would bloom for me, but I'm really excited to have this one, and that one's doing good. And then off to the bottom shelf, this hands down, this is like my favorite Hoya to date. I don't think anything could cap this or top this. I think the only difference would be that I'm looking for the Mauna Loa, which is a reverse variegated one. But hands down, this one's like my favorite plant. It does have a couple of spots where it lost some leaves and stuff due to transit, and then while it's acclimating to indoor living. So I've got this 8-inch pot. I've also got this 6-inch pot here that I just lightly watered because a couple of the leaves were looking a little crinkly. And then I also have another 8-inch pot over here. This one's in terracotta. I keep this one in terracotta because it drains out excess water really quickly. It's a shallow pot. It's actually one that's meant for bulbs like azaleas or something that doesn't require a really deep root system. And if you guys know anything about Hoyas, is that they don't really have the strongest root systems in plants. They're epiphytic, so they don't develop thick, robust roots. They have more of like thinner ones that kind of grasp on to soil. So I've got a lot of like chunky mixes of bark, some perlite. There's not a lot of organic matter, just in a sense, I don't want the pot to retain too much moisture. So this one works out really well in terms of keeping this plant happy and healthy. It's super lush and super full. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite section of the Hoyas. And then off to the bottom, once again, are some more Hoya compacta. So this is, like I said before, some of these I'm keeping personally. So the two that I'm 100% keeping are going to be these guys right here. The other two that I have are going to be trades. So I'm either cutting these to propagate them and sell, or what I'm going to do is use these as trades to mark off other Hoyas off of my wish list. So you're seeing a lot of these here. Honestly, I really have no need for 4 pots worth of this plant. I just found a really good deal on them. I love to shop around and look for plants, and so I would definitely mark some off of my list, and then in an effort to help other people, I will purchase extras. This one came from a local nursery, and in fact this one, I don't know, it looks like it needs some water. Yeah, some of the leaves are feeling, you can tell when it needs water when the leaves are like bendable like this. They normally have a thicker succulent like consistency. Like this one's hard to bend. Some of these are getting easy to bend. This one for sure needs water though. Or it could be because it's a new growth. Sometimes newer growth is softer. Yeah, this definitely needs water. You can see that. Even a couple of the leaves down here towards the bottom are definitely malleable. This one's pretty firm. So it looks like the left-hand side of the pot has had water. This right-hand side definitely needs water. But yeah, this is pretty much my Hoya section. I promised you guys on Instagram that I would be making a video, so therefore here is a video featuring all these plants. They were originally on my desk here, but I'm in the process of purchasing a computer, so I transferred everything over onto this shelf, and then I still have, you know, all the other plants over there as well too. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment them below. Definitely check out my Etsy shop. It's going to be etsy.com, and if you could just search up Crassula King, one word, you will see all the plants listed on there. Once again, thanks for watching, and look out for my new video, guys.